Welcome to The Bank is Open, presented by Pickett Sports. Boom Fantasy breaking down a light NBA card. We'll get into some other things. The usual cast of characters: NicLarson, Matt McAfee, and a special guest, a new addition, Jerry Paranormal Base on Twitter. Jerry, what's going on, man?
What's up? How you guys doing tonight?
Welcome, welcome. What's going on, guys? Not a lot of games to get to. We'll get to all of them. I guess we'll just start here. Jerry, if you want to start, just takeaways from the first half, and really a week since the trade deadline. Your thoughts here on the league, just as an overview here since the deadline.
I mean, this deadline was insane. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. I was alert after alert after alert, and meanwhile, I'm at work, and I'm like, I tell my boss, I got to stop for a second. I got to read these and get these updated because these were things we weren't expecting. We were expecting like, guys like OG and stuff like that to move. Guys were on the block. Guys were on the block weren't moving, and then guys that weren't expected to get traded were just going. It was just unbelievable. But a lot of teams got some good depth. I'm a big Laker fan. And it's been rough the last couple of years, but I want to see how this team gels, man. They're right on the cusp of, making the play-in, but it's just something that you gotta watch and see how these guys really put it together, and it's gonna be interesting because I would love to see the Timberwolves play the Lakers at some point and see how that goes. But now we're talking about Russell Westbrook today, maybe going to the Clippers. I mean, can you imagine Russell Westbrook angry playing against the Lakers?
I'm a Lakers fan too. As a Laker fan and somebody who doesn't like the Clippers, I am hoping to God he goes to the Clippers. Please go to the Clippers. I would love to see it.
I don't know. I'm a little indifferent on Russell Westbrook. I love his fire, his intensity. Obviously, he's not the shooter, but when he gets going and he gets to the rack and he's playing with confidence, he is a different animal. He's tough. But the Lakers already beat him before. They beat him before he was a Laker, so we'll see how that goes.
If your life depended on it right now, who would you have coming out of the West?
The Suns.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, how do you add KD to that team? You know what I mean? I mean, Bridges is a great player. Obviously, he's going to do good things in Brooklyn with the freedom that he's going to have. But KD, come on.
Matt, Nick, if you guys want to jump in, I'm curious before we get to the games, if there's one playoff series, it could be finals, could be in the West playoffs, East playoffs. There's one series you want to see, just from a fan standpoint. Nick, I'll start with you. What would you pick?
I mean, kind of biased here, but I want to see Milwaukee Boston again. I want a healthy Middleton because I think if Middleton's healthy last year, it's a different result. So I want to see Milwaukee Boston rematch.
Matt, you can jump in.
Sure, it's not probably a finals one, but I want to see Golden State and Memphis. That's always fun. The shit talking will be fun. Seeing Draymond and Brooks going at it will be
Is
fun.
Golden State gonna be watching that
Uh,
game, or are they gonna be in the
yeah,
playoffs?
they'll be in there. They'll be in there. Don't you worry. You just gotta look at the standings, man. These teams are going to drop out of it. Utah's done. They're dropping
Pelicans are
out.
probably next.
Port Pelicans are close. Yeah, Zion. I mean, I feel like we're going to hear Zion shut down for the season and after this All Star break or something. Like, I hope not, but how can you bank on that team to stay healthy?
They were just the one or
Uh,
two seed. It seemed like 10 minutes ago. They had the best record in the West, and yeah, it
outside
went
of
by. It
it,
went
yeah.
quick.
I mean, you're going to see some of these teams drop out. Uh, like we said, Utah's on the way out. Portland will be on the way out. And then you just need a 3 or 4 game winning streak, and all of a sudden you jump 4 or 5 places in the standings, or vice versa. So, I think the Warriors. I mean, right now they're in the play-in. Do you expect the Thunder to jump them? No.
I'd be
Do you
careful.
think
I wouldn't rule the Thunder out, man. They play hard.
They're
I don't know.
sneaky.
I will?
That's my
I
teams.
will roll them out because ownership will come in and say, "What the hell are we doing
I
here,
would have thought
guys?"
they would have
Like,
done that already,
you
though. They're
know,
already up
we
to 28 and 29. They're a plus net rating. Like, they've played well here. All right. Let's go through it. Let's figure out the 8 teams and what we think.
yeah.
Nuggets.
I think the Timberwolves are dropping out as well because Cat's just. I mean, is Cat coming back this year? Is this calf injury has been out for 2-3 months now? I don't know if he's even on pace.
let's
Warriors are 500. Go
yeah,
ahead.
let me just
Go ahead.
name the teams and we can just sort of figure out how many spots because I even get confused. There's so many teams bunched up here. Let's just figure out how many spots for how many teams we're competing with here. So Nuggets are going to be in. Grizzlies are going to be in.
Yeah.
Kings are 7 games over 500. Kings are probably going to be in. They'll probably avoid the play-in. That's 3. Suns will be in, you would think. Clippers would be in, I would think, at 28 losses. Then you have all these teams, and I guess you could put the Clippers in there with 28 losses. You have the Timberwolves with 29 losses, the Mavs with 29 losses, the Pels with 29 losses, the Warriors with 29 losses, OKC. So you got, what, 5, 6 teams here with 29 losses, and then there's a drop-off, the Jazz, the Blazers, and then the Lakers have 32, and then the Rockets and the Spurs, you can obviously forget about it. So where should we cut it off? With the Clippers, put those 5 teams in?
I still think the Kings will be in the play-in at least. Like, but I don't see. I'm not as high on the Kings as a lot of people are personally. Strength of schedule, we'll see how it plays out. I'd need to look at it. But they're a 500 team over the last 10 games. They don't get me too excited. I think their ceiling is lower than the Warriors.
You know what it is?
The Pelicans,
they've just been the
Mavs.
healthiest.
I think the Lakers. Yeah, for the most part, they haven't really missed anybody. But I would think the Lakers, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong. Lakers, Warriors, Pelicans, Mavs all have.
Yeah, but I'm not
ceilings
even
than
looking
Kings.
at ceilings. I'm just looking at the logistics here of like the last few spots, who's competing for what. So let's throw the Kings into the play-in mix. Let's say the Nuggets are in, the Grizzlies are in, the Suns are in, and we'll put the Clippers in. So we're talking 4 spots here, and we'll throw the Kings. So the Kings, the T-Wolves, the Mavs, Pelicans, Warriors, Thunder, Lakers. So 4 teams get those. Or out of those like 10 teams, you get 4 spots. What 4 would you pick? You want me to read them again? Kings,
Sure.
T-Wolves, Mavs, Pelicans, Warriors, Thunder, Lakers.
I think the Mavs are in there for sure.
Okay, you need 3 more.
I think they'll get in.
I agree.
Yep. I think I'm throwing the Thunder out. I'm okay throwing them out. I'm okay throwing Minnesota out as well.
They
Cats,
actually played okay, though.
Eli came in my ear and he took. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I just think they're going to be without Cap for another at least 3 weeks.
Is it that long? I didn't realize
that's
that.
a lot of games.
No timetable,
so-
Eli said.
I mean,
No timetable.
Which is dangerous
Yeah.
because
I don't know. Same
oh
thing
yeah,
can
he's.
be
I mean,
said
we're not
for
going to see
Zion,
Zion.
though, right?
We'll see the NFL back before we see Zion.
I mean, are we counting out the Warriors like completely?
No, absolutely. I'm not. I'm not.
Isn't that a team that you think that they could be? Yeah, they're not playing great right now, but they could also win the whole thing. It's insane what their ceiling is. It's just,
Right.
it would be really. Someone in chat said that they would like to see Suns Warriors in the playoffs. That would be something else, wouldn't it? KD versus the Warriors.
That would be fun. It would be fun. It's like, these teams like the Lakers and the Warriors, though, when you're dealing with injuries, like we're running out of games. A lot of these teams have played 58, 60 games. Like there's only 22 games left for some of these teams, which is crazy. I don't remember ever the All-Star break being this late where there's only 22 games left. But when we got to come up with 4 teams, so what 4 would you put in? I would put Kings. I'd put Mavs.
The Warriors. I have to put them in there.
Yeah, I'd probably put the Warriors in. And, geez. I'm not sure about the Timberwolves, which is interesting because the Timberwolves, if they miss, like it's not likely, but the odds are flattened for the lottery. That could be a Wembanyama pick. Can you imagine that? My goodness.
That trade will look even better.
Oh my God.
I mean, what Anthony Edwards are they getting on a night-to-night basis? You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a guy who could win any game by himself if he's feeling it. You know what I mean? It's tough. It's with so much variance like that.
Right.
Mike Conley also has a nice little role going on over there. He was doing very well. Like I was looking up his stats and he had like 5 or 6 straight games with 8+ assists, doubles, sneaky, really good before the trade. And first game he didn't look too good. Last game he had 9 assists. Maybe this is the distributor they needed, a pure distributor they needed for Anthony Edwards next to him. I mean, we got to see how that plays out because they could be a sneaky team as well.
How about this? I'll go Mavs, Kings, Timberwolves, and I'll put the Thunder in. playing, and the Lakers are
The
out.
Lakers are
I don't
out.
trust LeBron to stand. Like LeBron broke the scoring record. We didn't see him for a week after. Like they're 5 games under. I don't trust Davis to stay on the court. I don't trust LeBron to stay. Like I just don't trust him to play enough basketball. And they've got a hole to dig out of. I don't trust them to put a good 2-3 weeks of basketball together. There's not a lot of margin for error left. I mean, they'd make the playoffs fun with their trades. I think they're better, but I don't know. Like I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if they were in, but I'm
Even
not
with
sure.
the injuries, though, I don't know what's going on with them, but they've been fighting against teams that LeBron's out or someone else, Anthony Davis is out, and all of a sudden they're playing a top team in the league and they're keeping up for 4
Right.
quarters. It's the coaching, everything's going well for them this year, and if they're healthy, they're going to be a problem in the playoffs. Even if they're not
So,
healthy,
can
though,
we
they're
look at
still
the
surprising
Lakers?
everybody when they play these close games.
Yeah.
They're even winning games with injuries.
Look at the Lakers' schedule here. So after the All-Star break, they got the Warriors, the Mavs, the Grizzlies. They could lose all 3 of those games. They got the Thunder, the Timberwolves, Warriors again, Grizzlies. Let's see, Raptors, Knicks, Pelicans, Rockets is a win. Magic is a win. You got the Mavs in there, Suns, Thunder. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. They've got a lot of tough games in there.
The thing is, they're the 13th seed right.
Thunder, Bulls, Timberwolves.
Yeah, they're the 13th seed right now.
might need to
So
win
you
all.
don't have like, hey, Davis stubbed his toe. He's going to miss 2 weeks. You can't have that. Like you have no room for error now. You're the 13th seed. You got to win. You got to win a lot of games.
Do you think they could win 60% of their games?
Yeah.
Could they? Yes. Would I say it's likely? Probably not.
If they win 60% of the rest of the way, they would be
Right.
in because they play so many people
Right.
in front of them.
Last night was a big one.
And and like you said, I mean, it's in terms of wins, they're only what 4 wins behind 6th place. Like, I mean, that's not
Yeah,
crazy.
but you're how many
mean,
losses out are they? Because you can't make up another team's losses.
Somebody
3.
said sports is rigged, so it doesn't
3.
matter.
Yeah.
Will,
that is true. They will.
Will, the thing you
They
just
will be
said
in
is
the
like my
playoffs.
thing with the Lakers. It's like, or with not the Lakers, with the Warriors. Like, they already said Curry's not going to be ready for the first few games after the All-Star break.
Right.
So what happens if they lose a couple games? I mean, they've won 7 games on the road this entire year. Curry has played in some of those games. So are they just going to be expected to run through? They're probably not going to be a top 4 seed.
Right.
So are they just expected to run through? I mean, I don't think they're the same team as last year either. Wiggins
no,
is
I'm
not
with
as
you.
good.
Let's look at the odds.
Um,
Odds to make the playoffs. Let's just see if we can find a bet here, find some value. Timberwolves, yes, is plus 125. No is minus 155. And I think this means not just playing, you have to clear the play-in and be in the main draw. So this is being actually one of the final playoff teams after the play-in. So Timberwolves plus 125, no minus 155. We'll start with them. Any value there?
I don't like the juice. There's not much
No.
really juice on that for the risk.
Right. I agree. Clippers,
I do. I like to know. I mean,
enough to lay it?
If they get dragged into the play-in game, I don't think
No
they're
shot.
gonna
I would
make
lay
it.
that juice. Either way, I just wouldn't do it. It's just that's too tough of a bet.
Right. Clippers minus 900. Yes. No plus 600. Anything there? Would you take a shot at the no with all their injuries or not? Probably not.
Nah, they got too
Injury
much
history.
depth.
Okay. Let's see. Mavs minus 1200. Yes, that's probably not a bet. OKC no minus 650. Yes, plus 450. Anybody biting on the Thunder?
I like that one.
I
I
might.
don't mind that one either.
I might.
That's my
That's
little
actually
squad. They're
pretty
fun to
juicy.
watch. Matkafee shaking his head. No.
There is no chance they're winning because if they're the 10, they're going to win 2 play-in games to get in or whatever. Like,
Right.
No,
You could get to the.
they're
Could they
not.
get to the 7-8?
No,
Probably not.
like
Probably not.
I
You're probably
mean,
right.
yeah, it's. At best, they're playing 500. Like if they're at their best, they're 500.
Which
the
for
rest
them
of the
still a hell of a year. Nobody thought they were going to
And-
win I'm sure their over-under
Right.
was like 22, 23 games. So this is still a good year.
Right. Yeah. People thought they were
Right.
closer to the Rockets and the Spurs than they were the Clippers or somebody like that.
And they are a game back of
Yeah,
the
it's-
AC.
but I mean, it only bodes well. It's good experience for them, and they get Chet back next year, see how he comes and is added to the mix, whatever other draft picks they get. And I mean, I feel like they're on the verge of building something really good. But is any of those players, is Shea going to want to re-sign there? I mean, I know they'll be able to give him money, but when's his contract?
It's a question for
This is
down
how
the road. I'm not sure.
This is a good way to measure the Thunder. They beat some good. Let's look at their wins, their big wins since January started. They beat the Mavs. They beat the Sixers, pretty big, 19 points. The Nets. They beat the Nuggets. They beat the Cavs. They played a close game with the Warriors. Beat the living shit out of the Rockets twice. I mean, they can do it. You can't really sleep on a team that can compete with some of the best.
Yeah, and they're one game
They
behind.
might be dumb enough to do it.
That's not terrible. It's really not plus 450. Let's go through some of these other ones and we'll decide if there's actually a bet to be made here. Lakers, yes, is plus 180. No is minus 225. Anything there?
You're betting on health. You're betting on health. That's pretty much it. And do you trust Bron and AD to both stay healthy? If they do, 100%. If you know that there's nothing lagging, no nagging injuries, I'd 100% take that bet. But is nagging injuries right now, so it's kind of rough.
Always. What do you guys think?
I had to look it up. I didn't realize Shea did sign a new contract. So, yeah, he's locked in there for 4 more years after this year. So, yeah, he's not going anywhere. They got a good little base there to build from.
Any thoughts on the Lakers, Matt?
Give me all the Lakers stock, even though you're buying
plus 180, you'd bet
price.
Yeah,
plus 180 that they'll make the playoffs. Yeah, I would for sure. They're going to get it. I mean, not to say the NBA is rigged, but the NBA is sort of rigged, like where star players get calls down the stretch. You know what I mean? Like they're going to have every opportunity to get it. Like, let's just say that. Like, and I'm happy to bet on LeBron. Let's say that too. Like, if I back LeBron and the team lets me down around him and stuff like that,
you don't want to be on the other side of LeBron normally.
I'm okay.
Yeah, I mean, they missed it last year. I don't know. I'm not as optimistic as you guys. I'm just not. You'd bet this, Nick, plus 180?
Yeah, I would take this. I like this.
Have you guys actually bet it, or is this hypothetical?
Last year's team was
I haven't even really looked at
this year's Lakers.
Yeah.
I only made one future bet, and I made a little late night bet the other day of Bucks versus Suns in the finals it was plus 800.
That's not terrible.
Just because I would love to see Jay Crowder talking shit that entire week, because he will.
And they still have odds to make the play-in, which is kind of commensurate. I mean, maybe that's a better way to play. Would you take Lakers just plus 100 to make the play-in?
That seems a lot fair.
That seems better.
Oh yeah.
DraftKings.
Where's that bet?
And I'll read
DraftKings. Yeah, I'm gonna go over there and
I'll read the numbers here too. Timberwolves minus 145, and this is just to participate in the play-in, which I like better because it's more clarity. Warriors minus 130, Pelicans minus 125, Lakers plus 100, Blazers plus 120, Kings plus 155, Jazz plus 160, Thunder plus 220, Clippers plus 255, Mavs plus 300, Suns plus 750. You figure maybe they have an injury. And then those are all the reasonable ones. The only thing I don't like about this, it's a one-way market. There's no. It's all yes, which I never like.
Right.
Anything besides the Lakers jump out there? OKC plus 220 to just make the play-in, just to be a top 10 seed. That's tempting to me.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
I agree. Yeah.
Matt, you're still not in on our Thunder?
No. I don't like backing a team full of young players that I think will get shut down at some point. Like I don't really see any advantage of them winning. So we've watched them beat up on the Rockets, I think 3 times in the last 2 or 3 weeks here. And yeah, teams like the Sixers can overlook them and get smacked. But like, I suspect that Pelicans will have enough to hold. I think the Warriors will have enough to hold. the Mavs or Timberwolves will kind of be that team, and I think the Lakers will catch them and pass them. So I think the Thunder are out.
All right. Bank is open, presented by
Yep.
Pickett Sports, Boom Fantasy. You guys want to get to the games tonight?
Sure.
Let's see. We got.
Let's do it. I want to tell you one future I
Yeah.
added for MVP.
I added one too,
last
but go
night.
ahead.
I grabbed Tatum at 18-1. So now I've got your Jokic. What number did we give
12-1,
out?
yeah.
It was what, 12-1 when you gave it out? Yep. So I've got Jokic 12-1, Giannis 10-1, and I just grabbed Tatum at 18-1.
Should be in pretty good
So
shape.
hopefully I got this. I hopefully got this market cornered, but Embiid, I'm hearing they're going to shut him down.
I didn't
for
hear
a
that.
couple
For
weeks.
what?
His
Really?
foot is really, really bad. Apparently, he's the doctors have been saying that he should have been out.
wow.
He should have rested the last 2 weeks. But I think he just was like, I'm going to power myself through the All-Star break. But that's what I heard some rumblings today that they may shut him down for a week or two.
If
after
I
the
had to
All-Star
make a
break.
bet right now, let me pull up the odds. Do you guys have the odds in front of you or no? It was here this morning. I don't know if
For
it's
MVP,
yeah,
Jokic was like minus 175.
but he's not anymore.
Embiid
That
was
was going to
like
be the
4.
guy. Jokic is minus 250 now.
Yeah, well, that straw poll dropped today.
Yep, 100%. I thought even at minus 170, it's not sexy, it's not whatever, but like he dominated the straw poll. I mean, if you look at his numbers, his team's in first. I don't think there's this voter fatigue. I think as long as he stays healthy, he's probably going to win it again.
Yep, and they got him in what?
What's that?
They got him in Westbrook mode where he once he's just searching for the assist. He's gonna average a triple double this year for sure. It's not as he'll get the rebounds. It's not like back in the day when Steven Adams was like tackling guys so Westbrook could grab a rebound. I mean, he just will naturally get those. But the assists, I mean, he's not even looking for his shot. And like the Mavs have nobody at center. Like Christian Wood and Dwight Powell. Like Jokic could have scored 40 points against them last night, but I mean, he just coasting along, taking a few shots, get his 15 to 20 points, and he's going to average that triple double, and they're going to win a lot. So he probably will win it. How many more games does he need to play before, say, he does get hurt that they wouldn't play him or that he would lose it? Like, what do you
Right,
got?
he's getting into that Otani territory a couple of years ago. Where it's like, all right, it's like even if he got hurt, he'd probably still win it. I mean, we're not there yet, but with only 20-something games yet, I think Jokic is probably in good shape here to win this award. But let's get to the games tonight. Final night before the All-Star weekend. So, I don't know how much you take that into the handicap here, but the Bucks are in Chicago playing on the Bulls, who have just played terribly, shot the ball terribly, been hard to watch on offense. Bucks minus 8.5. Against the Bulls. Jerry, start us off here. Anything you like? Sides, totals, player props. Take it away.
So I took someone last game for a double-double, and they at plus 3,600, and they had 11 potential assists in that game. I wanted to throw up when I read that. But anyways, what do you think his line is for his assist? I'm not going to name the player. What do you think his line is today?
7.5.
You would think so, right? Ayo Dosunmu is over 3.5 is his line for assists tonight. It's minus 135.
No Caruso too, right?
Yeah.
What's that?
No Caruso too, right?
No Caruso. Caruso had 5 potential assists. So let's say, obviously they stagger them a little bit. Let's say that's another 2 potential assists. That's 13 potential assists he could have got. 3.5. That's a great line. Now Zach LaVine last 4 games versus the Bucks had 3 threes in all of them. 4 threes in 2 of them, 3 threes in the other 2. So I did a little bankroll builder. I put LaVine for 2 threes and Ayo for 4 assists, and it came out to a plus 125. I think that's solid. That's something I could cash in the first half.
I dig it.
Any lean on the side or the total, or just that one?
I'm just gonna pray the Bulls don't get blown out. That's my only prayer. I'm not touching that side because you don't know what Bulls are gonna show up. You don't know what Vucevic is gonna show up. You really don't. I can't figure this team out. They have
Yeah,
so
that's a
much potential
franchise in
on
bad
paper.
shape too. They gave up all those assets, the young players and stuff. I mean, talk about how bad the Gobert trade was. I mean, that trade for Vucevic was so bad, giving up all that stuff. And boy, they are going nowhere fast. Nick, what do you got here? Bulls Bucks.
Well, let's rewind to Tuesday, and I almost got burned with the. There's no chance the Bucks lose to the Celtics, and sweated that one out in overtime. But, I mean, no DeRozan, no Caruso. Holiday looks really good lately. He dropped 40 last game. Giannis has been consistent. I'm going to stay away from the side here. I really don't have any props either. Just like Jerry said, the blowout factor kind of scares me away. I really like his play though, with the assists, and then Levine has been filling it up like crazy. I did want to bring up. I know a lot of people like the boost and play the boost, and there is a boost on FanDuel for this game. I want to get your guys' opinions. They have Giannis for 30, Drew and Levine each to make 2 threes. It was plus 115. Now it's plus 200.
What's the max on that?
I think
Probably
50.
$50, unless you have VIP and can do 200, I think. But
I think Holiday's hit 2 threes in like 5 or 6 straight. Levine's pretty consistent with that too. So
Seems like it's worth the $50.
it's just a blowout. I think that potential that you
Right.
could run into with Giannis.
yeah, well, and Giannis's line is 35.5, right? Like, or is it 34.5? I thought it was 34.5. Okay, so gosh, there are so many people out. Like with Portis, Middleton, Connaughton. Obviously, Jay Crowder's not ready yet, but like that's a lot of players missing and a lot of points potentially. So, I mean, does Giannis go crazy here? I
I mean,
mean,
he could have
Patrick
30 in the
Williams
first
is-
half. Who knows?
Right. It's tough. I mean, I could see him getting his 30. I mean, Patrick Williams and Vucevic are the only guys there to try to slow him down. So, well, I know they I'm not even gonna. I was just thinking like, how is this? Nah, they Drummond. Do they play Drummond a bunch in this or something like?
Yikes.
Gross. Bulls are nasty. I banned the Bulls altogether from any parlays, any props. I don't fool with them. And so yeah, Zach LaVine, like, I mean, he had a good game last game,
Yeah.
right? Like a 30-point double or something. So tonight he'll have 12 points, be like 1 of 10 shooting. I want Jerry to hit his 3, so he'll be 2 of 10 shooting. The boost probably catches. But yeah, this is gross, man. For props, I guess Grayson Allen, Kobe White, like 3s, Drew Holiday 3s, stuff like that. But
Not
I'm
even
not
Jingle and
touching
Joe Ingles. You're not touching. I don't know. I
is he
haven't
gonna
seen.
play? I hope so. Are we even gonna get props for him? Yeah, like I love some Jingle and Joe. Like his stuff. There's always good value there, but
We'll talk all
Pull
about
up.
this game, and then it'll be like Vucevic and Brook Lopez, 5 threes each.
Exactly.
It happens. You never.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems so predictable until the
there
game's
you go.
played.
Now we gotta lock it in.
All right. Anything else on this one? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think projection. If you do get some nice props dropped for guys that are role players, I think there's potential for a role player to pop off or two. And I did mention Kobe White, who I don't think is listed right now. I think Joe Ingles, like another one, Beauchamp, Wes Matthews, some guys like that may have a nice day tonight because there is the break right there, the blowout potential, and a lot of these guys are resting that get big minutes. So, look, Bulls is Green out, Dragic, Derek Jones, Caruso. Obviously, we know Ball and DeRozan. Like, I don't know. Kobe White 3s is sounding
Bank
good
is
to me.
open. Pickett Sports. Boom. Fantasy. Moving on. Second game of the night. The Wizards are in Minnesota. Timberwolves laying 3, total 235.5. Nick, anything here? Timberwolves and Wizards.
Yeah, I have one ladder play for this game. I was kind of leery looking when the Wizards played with Kuzma coming back previous game, and he played like 30 some minutes and put up 33 points or whatever it was. So I'm gonna ride him tonight over 22.5 points minus 110, and then I don't know if it's still up, but it was this morning. 35 points was plus 1100. He's one of those guys that can just pop off any given day. Um, Even last game, he put up over 30, and Porzingis had close to 30 as well. So it is possible for multiple guys on that team to score against a team like the Timberwolves. So I just like this spot for him. His volume was like 20 shots last game. He was 6 for 10 for 3. So he came back. I didn't know if he'd be slowed up at all with that ankle injury, but he looked pretty good last game. So I'm gonna ride with him this game in a good matchup against the Timberwolves.
Jerry, anything for you here?
I kept it kind of simple. I went with eights. I went 8 rebounds for Kuzma and 8 assists for Conley, and it was plus 344. I mean, it's pretty simple. Kuzma in 7 of the last 10 has hit this line. Conley before the trade, like I said, 5 straight games, had 8 plus assists, including 3 double doubles. And last game where he was more comfortable, had 9 assists for the Timberwolves. So it looks like something that plus 344, some pretty decent juice, and something that's very attainable.
Matt, what you got?
I want to see, lineups. I'm always hesitant to touch a Timberwolves game until I know Gobert's status. It's just such a wild card. He's such a vacuum for rebounds.
Do you want to give the
Kyle
audience
Anderson,
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do you want to give the audience like, hey, if he's in, do this. If he's out, do that.
Sure. So, I mean, if we're looking at Gobert against this front court, Porzingis doesn't want to rebound. He'd rather be out shooting. Kuzma is a nice rebounder. Gafford, he also will compete. But this is one where I think Rudy could have a tremendous game if he's in. But if he's out, I guess like what Jerry was saying, Kuzma rebounds is a nice pivot. But in games, I'm looking at the one game that these two teams played this season. Gobert really didn't have a great rebounding game, but I think Cat might have been playing in that one too. He had 19 and 7, but you go back through his time with the Jazz. I mean, it's almost all double-digit rebound games. I think I like Conley assist too. I think Edwards could have a nice game points wise because the Wizards don't really have that perimeter defender that's going to really lock in. So,
Would you trust?
gosh, yeah, I think I would go. Edwards points is a target for me in this. I like Kuzma points. And outside of that, I just don't love a lot. Yeah, I'll
11 and a half over under for Gobert rebounds. Would you play the over and figure, hey, if he plays, over is a good bet. If he sits, it doesn't matter. Would you look to take an alternate number? How would you play that with Gobert?
His rebound 11 is.
I'm looking at 11 and a half.
11 and a half is what we need. Yeah. I think 11 and a half is doable. I mean, especially if he gets, if he plays the full 30 minutes that he normally does, it's going to be really hard for him not to grab 12 boards because there's just not really a great rebounder that he has to compete with out here. And again, rebounding is an effort metric. And last game before the All-Star break, I just wonder how many guys are really going to be chasing it and competing for those boards, and Gobert would just be able to catch it. You know what I mean? Like, not really have to fight these guys for it. So, Porzingis is playing the 5 at all with him.
Yeah,
you can give him every rebound there. Like, it's so. I would lean over.
Outside total. Anyone have any
now.
interest or no? I think this is one Minnesota can win. No.
No, we don't. We don't.
Well, yeah, it's gross.
These are gross, man. These teams are
I would be
wildly
tempted Minnesota
unpredictable.
on the money line. I mean, if they're fighting for a play-in home against the Wizards. It's kind of when you need to bank, I would think.
What is the
Why is it only 2.5
Right.
then?
what is the
Right.
margin?
You know, I guess you just swallow the juice, grab Minnesota money
Right.
line
Buck
if you really
45.
want to.
Exactly.
The Timberwolves.
Yeah.
This is interesting. The Timberwolves to win 1 to 10 points margin plus 175.
That's reasonable.
It is reasonable. It's just so much variance in the NBA. I've never thought to play those, but that certainly seems, like you said, seems reasonable.
I mean, minus 144 on the money line.
Right.
If they're gonna win, do you think they blow the doors off the Wizards? I don't think so.
Yeah,
Plus
probably not.
175 is a lot better than minus 144 for.
Right.
But then you say that, and then all of a sudden they win by 11, and you're cursing at yourself.
Exactly.
You know, it's one of
Exactly.
those
And you can
things.
split your bet too. You could put, half a unit on each one and go
I've
about
been
it
looking
that
at these margins, like even today, the last couple of days, I've been looking at them because I was trying to think about. I was hitting a lot of parlays when I first started 2 years ago, and I started looking at the bet slips and everything like that, and I'm like, you know what? I played a lot. I played a lot of these 1 to 10 margins or 11 plus when I thought it was going to be a blowout because it's more specific, and I would parlay some of those things, a few props I like, and before you know it, I mean, back then you got better odds for same game parlays, but
Right.
even still, like
Sure.
that for example, that's a big difference from minus 144. It gives you good value.
Yeah. All right. The final game of the night, actually an interesting game. It'll be more interesting. I mean, this is the story of the NBA. Just you look at a game on paper and you say, boy, it'd be fun if these teams had all their players. Suns obviously don't have Durant back. It's the Clippers, so I'm assuming we have all their guys. But hey, we still got 4 hours till the game starts, so who knows? I would lean towards the Suns here. I thought they played well against the Kings the other night. I think once they get Durant back, they're going to be really good. So I'd look for the Suns here at home. Anyone that has division bets, this is an important game because the Suns are right there with the Clippers and the Kings. Nick, start us off here. Suns, Clippers, side, total props. Take it away.
Yeah, well, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm taking Paul George points, one of the guys that we always bash for minutes, sitting, all that stuff. I mean, they said that him and Kawhi's minutes are going to be limited, and like his last 4 games, he's played like 32 to 36 minutes. So who knows? He maybe plays 12 minutes tonight, and I get burned. But I'll take the risk. The Suns struggle defending shooting guards. I'm taking over 20.5 and then up to the 30 at plus 600. I just think it's a good spot for him, and to score 21, I hope he can get to the 21 and then see if we can climb a little from there. But like you said, I'm looking forward to watching this game. Should be a good matchup.
Jerry, jump in. What you got?
Another one I kept kind of simple. I went Paul George, 6 rebounds, Bones Highland for 2 threes. Where is it? It was plus 289. Little juice. Bones actually had one of his best games of the season when he played the Suns earlier when he was on the Nuggets. Played 24 minutes, I believe it was. Scored 21 points, 5 threes. He's going to have a nice little role here. He's played, I think he played 16 minutes in his debut for the Clippers. Should see him north of 20 now. I think Norman Powell's out for the game. So he should get 20 to 22 minutes, I would guess, in that range. 2 threes is very attainable. I think that's a great parlay for me. 6 rebounds, 2 threes. Not a lot of sweat, especially when Paul George in 4 matchups versus Suns, he had 7 or more in every matchup, including a 9 rebound game and a 10 rebound game. So
Okay.
Good stuff.
I'm gonna do. I'll probably do Clippers Suns.
What you got? What you got, Matt?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was chatting with Eli in the background there. But yeah, looking and trying to learn from their previous meeting. You kind of have to throw a little bit out because the dynamic of these teams is a lot different. We had obviously, Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson in that. And we didn't have the Claw playing for the Clippers. Reggie Jackson was still there. So there's certain things you can say, okay, that I'm going to remember that. Like Booker had a really strong game, and I just wonder if that's impacted at all. If we see Kawhi say, hey, I'm going to take some Devin Booker today, it would make sense because who else is he going to guard? Like you don't want to waste Kawhi Leonard on Torrey Craig or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, so I tend to say, well, what's Booker's points at right now? Let me double check it. I know his line's still a little lower than, okay, it's 24 and a half. I would lean under in that kind of thing. Um, Aiton, obviously, I don't know. Zubac, he didn't really have a good game. I'm looking at that, like just trying to piece this all together here and figure out. All right, CP3, 11 dimes. Um, Gosh, this is fascinating because this could be the Western Conference Finals. Obviously, we don't even have Durant mixed in here either to kind of figure out how this is going to shake out. But and Norm Powell's out too, right?
Yeah.
So that's some key scoring off the bench. Uh, hmm. I'm probably going to lean into the Stars a little bit. I like Aiton to probably continue his hot shooting. I don't know if I want to play him at 21 and a half. I think that's a little high for me. I think 16 to 18 is a really nice number for him and kind of a sweet spot. So I'll put together a little same game parlay for the TNT promo and kind of put it out. But things I'm targeting right now, I do think Paul George and Kawhi Leonard both get their 20 points. I like Aiton in, like I said, in that 16 to 18 kind of range. Both George and Leonard probably for 5 or 6 boards. I think Booker right around 20 points makes sense, and CP3, you know, probably 8 assists, kind of a range. I'll see how that all shakes out. Just kind of building it right now. You guys are welcome to kind of toss it around, and if I get something here, I'll send it to Eli, and he can put a graphic up.
So what do you think about Bones 3-pointers tonight? What the value that's there anyway? What it was plus 340 for 3. If he sees 20 to 22 minutes tonight, you think he makes 3 threes at that value? That's what he's there for.
Right. It's yeah. I mean, 3-3. I would rather play 2 at 105. Like I maybe lay enough with 2 to cover you and free roll your 3. You know, I think Bones he's not a guy I really back a ton. Just because Ty Lue especially is very hard to trust with his minutes. It's why I don't play a lot of Clippers same game parlays because, you know, I like going with Doc Rivers and Tibbs and guys like that where I could predict the rotations and I could predict the minutes a little more because Ty Lue is about as random as it gets with which guys get burned and which guys don't. So I do like the idea of it. It's kind of weird to me that they're offering it this early in the day too. Like, how rare do you get a role player's threes, like, 3 hours before the game?
Well, they do have
too often,
Shams on the
so
books.
I don't. Yeah, Shams knows. He talked to Ty Lue at over a smoothie today, and he knows he's going to be.
That
in
was a
there,
little
like,
terrifying when I found out about that deal, but what are you going to do?
Before we wrap up, Jerry, I guess there was a question about the same game
Yeah.
parlay because there's a question. Risk free has to be 3 legs, and you have to add a leg. Any suggestions for what leg to add?
That's a great question. I really like those 2 legs. I don't even know if I want to. I mean, probably one of the big men to hit a couple threes, either Brook or Vucevic. But you're kind of picking your poison, which one you want to pick. I don't have anything else I really love in that game. I mean, Levine points would correlate; it wouldn't do much for you.
All right. Nothing to suggest. I mean, I guess if you think of something, we can tweet it out or whatever. But
probably go Brook Lopez 2 threes, really spice it up, you know?
All right, there you go.
Lopez threes. One of the most. It's such a fun prop too because you know you're getting at least 1 3 attempt in the first like 3 trips down the court. Like you're like make it, motherfucker.
Absolutely. And if he hits that first one, you're getting another one coming up pretty quick too.
Oh yeah.
Yes. That's what it's fun. Like, and I mean, I feel like Bud's another guy you can kind of trust. Obviously, you haven't been able to trust the Bucks' health right now, dealing with a lot of guys coming in and out of the lineup. But that's the thing. If you're a parlay bettor and you like doing a lot of stuff in the same game, like I guess my advice is one, look for games that have high totals, and then two, really try to study these rotations. And right now it's tough after this trade deadline. Some of these teams are working in new guys, and you don't truly trust. You can't truly trust what you've seen the first 50 games. They may be trying a couple weird things, and so I guess tread lightly for a week until they kind of figure it out.
It's also a good time to mess around with negative correlation too. You have a high total in the game, you boost that up about maybe 8 points, take the under on that, and you could see your odds double sometimes.
Nice. Yeah, those used to be the days. You could see it multiply by 10, the negative correlation. But yeah, I mean, what would you say is your guys' like? We could probably do a show, same game, or a show parlay. Just everybody give out their favorite prop of the night, and maybe I can put it together. What do you guys think
For tonight?
for tonight? Yeah,
I mean, I got to ride with Io. Over 3.5 assists.
I over 3.5 assists.
Yeah, that's got to be it, man.
I've been playing these props. Let me look for something. Nick, you go ahead. I'll find something I like here.
Favorite one? Give me. Doesn't matter which game. Any game.
Yeah, no, any game.
Give me Kuzma over points.
So we didn't use Nick's George over.
Points.
I like Nick's George over 20.5. I'm gonna steal Nick's. I think
Okay.
it's a good one. Plus, I can't stand the Clippers, so if he goes under, we just can shit on Paul
Alright.
George. So fun from either way.
Will, how was it today waking up knowing it was Thursday already?
I know it's crazy
Wait, today's Thursday?
all day.
It's wild. Part of me, this is going to be a fun one. I'm going to go because he's not ready for the 1-2 punch of Zoo Alcindor and Mayo Plumlee. I'm going to go DeAndre Ayton under 10.5 rebounds.
Dedicate
Okay.
that to Brian. He'll enjoy.
Oh yeah,
All right.
All right, so I put together a little mini lotto, not 2 legs. Io 6 assists, Bones 3 threes, plus 1,500 on FanDuel. You know,
That's not bad. Not bad.
send
2
that
legs.
to me, Jerry. I want to.
Once you say it, you got to play it. You can't leave a 15-1 on the table. Once you say it, you got to play it.
Oh, it's gonna go down. It's gonna go down.
And hey, it's the last night before the All-Star break, so we get a little break here. I'm not sure how much you guys are betting the All-Star weekend. I might have something that the looks of it, man, it's not very appetizing. Not a lot of big name players, especially the dunk contest. But yeah, it's the last night. Just enjoy it.
The expectations are a little too high for me this year. Last year, I don't know if you saw the ticket I hit for 15,000 on the All-Star weekend.
I don't remember that. What was it?
I had Karl Anthony Towns winning the 3-point contest, Team Barry to win the skills, and I had Steph Curry All-Star MVP.
Wow. What odds were that?
Those 3, and then I parlayed just Cat and Steph, and I put like 50 on it, and that alone won like $6,000.
Wow. That's a hell of a hit.
All
Yes.
narrative based too. It's like,
That's a
Yeah.
hell of a hit. We'll look for that play. On that note, Nick, Matt, Jerry, welcome. You did a great job. Great debut. Enjoy the break, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks to Boom Fantasy, Pickett Sports. Enjoy the games, and we'll see you next time.